For setup, a color test signal from the Manassas cable system. Welcome to the WTFDA 1990 convention, August 3rd, 4th, and 5th at the Old Town Inn in Manassas, Virginia, a very historic city. The old town hall is now a museum, kitty corner from the motel. It wasn't always this noisy, by the way. We got kind of silly about this Mexican restaurant.
Let me get a picture of this. Here we go. Mexicali Mexican restaurant. Order the KF Hectate special.
Help wanted.
I don't know why we spent so much time fooling around with that. I guess because it didn't look much like a Mexican restaurant.
I'm zoomed in on it's kind of shaky picture here. Let me get back. We are in beautiful downtown Manassas.
Yeah. What a pain.
Really kind of a quaint place. Lovely parking lot here.
The swimming pool that very few people used.
Different view here, and then as we move up, we see the historic Welcome to Manassas water tower.
And associated sky.
And then we'll pan the skyline and see some of the antennas of Manassas.
Just about a block away was the Channel 66 studio, WTKK. That's their microwave dish there.
Oops, almost missed that one.
There were 28 people in attendance from 12 states in the province of Ontario. Rather pretty sunset shot here from the motel balcony.
Before and after pictures. This is obviously before. All this stuff has been shoved up the over the railing onto the ledge and will be set up on this balcony tomorrow. The convention room is inside where the window is.
This is Thursday night. This is Friday, the initial setup, which was changed on Saturday.
All right, now.
Jim is driving.
And this is the final setup, with most of the antennas raised above the roof level. Bill Nolman's car from Connecticut with a good DXer license plate. One of the motel rooms, the maid, who I think was trying to escape the camera. This is bringing in the supplies on Thursday. There's Marv Schultz with the dark blue shirt, Matt Sittel carrying the box. And a new arrival earlier Thursday afternoon.
Greg, we're getting all this on tape for posterity. I want to see all the stuff you smuggled in from upstate New York.
That's Greg Caniglio, the Northern FM DX editor. Came well prepared. The Old Town Inn was very hospitable. They did a nice job. Good place.
Yeah, he probably
Mike tells us this is the Pentagon. Oh, those are bushes.
There's a whiteout down there, you know. What's the big bush in there?
I think you need to buy a postcard of this one.
Oh yeah, there's just really no.
Now this is Friday morning. We're headed into the FCC offices in downtown Washington, D.C., getting ready to get on the subway here.
Yeah, Tom Yingling operating the money grabber machine.
The QSL and logo corner man. That's Joe Gregg standing there. Joe and Marv checking the maps. Joe is from Palestine, Texas. The subway station was rather a cavernous place. We got on at Pentagon City and headed to Farragut Square. Pretty good system. The trains were nice and clean, seemed to run on time. We had about a 3-block walk after we got off.
Heading for the FCC in this one.
19th and M Street. first stop was to pick up some handouts. Jim Rollins is getting a few there. This is where we spend most of our time, in the public reference room, looking at the microfiches, whatever. This is about the only way I knew I was in Washington, D.C. For just a very few seconds, I got a glimpse of the Washington Monument from a car window.
I'm kind of, right now, about every 10 years.
Okay.
That's the handout table.
During the even-numbered years, and I broke the pattern missing 86.
Robert Goodman, that is, from New York, is
now what's
explaining
happened is
his
the past
convention
2 years,
attendance.
I've virtually dropped out of a hobby and I'm making up by coming to the conventions.
Yeah.
That's Ron LeBlanc from New Orleans, and Jeff Pruska behind him reading the magazine. Jeff's also from New Orleans. That table was sort of the old-timers' headquarters. Bob Seybold, Bill Eckberg, and Tom Bryant set up camp there most of the time. Looking over some of the old QSLs and getting ready for some pizza. And then time to look at some DX and DX tapes. If I'm not mistaken, these are Tom Yingling's tapes, made in Baltimore. The guy on the right is Mike Weimer, convention host. This is Max Engel, his wife and son Alex from New York. Bruce Hall sitting, Jeff Pruska, Gus Mancuso standing with a dark blue shirt, Bill Nolan. On the left, Greg Caniglio. In the forefront, Peter George, and sort of hidden behind there is Matt Sittel. And that's Paul Mount with his back to the camera. Paul's from New Jersey. That's Ron LeBlanc again from New Orleans. And Bill Eckberg from Illinois. Jim Dietrich from Wichita, Kansas has developed some new low-loss matching transformers and balance and line amps for UHF, and he was testing and demonstrating them here. Had a little setup over in the corner and comparing notes with the guys using the outside antenna over at the other table. And with his little setup indoors, he was doing just about as well as or better than the guys over at this setup. It's Joe Gregg and Bob Seybold and Ron LeBlanc with his hand on his head there. That's Mike Weimer again on the right. Mike and Shirley did a great job of hosting this convention. Put a lot of work into it and everything went off without a hitch. The distinctive sound of Alliance antenna rotators. Peter George, who's a TV engineer in Massachusetts, is trying out Jim Dietrich's setup here. The guy with the striped shirt on the right is George Green from Akron, Ohio. It's later and a little quieter, but we're still looking for the DX stations that never came in. There was really not very much tropo reception and no E-skip at all during the entire convention. A look again at the motel marquee and the group assembling here to head off to the public broadcasting system uplink station. Well, this tape is not a professional job. I don't have any control on the volume levels on the sound over sound, so that's why I'm kind of drowned out here sometimes. But it's designed mainly to give you an idea of what happened. We all had a great time.
They get lost and it doesn't make it ever.
Now this is Saturday afternoon. We're at the PBS Uplink Center south of Alexandria, Virginia. Everybody unloading from the cars and heading into the building for what turned out to be a very thorough tour of this facility. It's the Ralph B. Rogers Satellite Main Origination Terminal.
Telephone lines. And they use telephone lines, and it cost them a double fortune.
We're finding out here that PBS was a very early comer in uplinking signals by satellite.
Our own distribution system.
And in the long run, it saved them a lot of money. Here's a map of PBS affiliates nationwide that receive programs from this facility.
There comes serial cable out of the microwave, comes into your own baseband. Through these cables.
And now we're down to the nuts and bolts of the operation. Everybody checking the facility out.
Not processing, but changing to the frequency to get up to the satellite.
Not the classiest place in the world, but certainly is functional. The young guy there in the white t-shirt and white cap is Mike Pediglio, Greg's brother.
11,125 megahertz, and that then is converted.
Gus is Gus Mancuso from Maryland.
Some frequency 0.5945 and
another control console.
Megahertz. So it is a double of the signals to noise.
Some old Ampex 2-inch videotape machines, described later as dinosaurs.
Radio and video.
4 signals can be uplinked from this facility at any given time. At the moment we were there, PBS was only using 1 transponder. The other 3 were leased out for commercial services. Saturday is a rather quiet day for activity at a facility like this. Looking here at some of the monitors, the signal outgoing and coming back off the satellite. Time was about 12:47 on Saturday afternoon. That's one of the uplink transmitters. Ice is a problem on those big satellite dishes. That's one of the de-icing controls.
That thing is in class 3. This one right here is encoded.
Another look at some of the monitors, test signals, what's going on in the air at the moment, what's coming on a secondary channel from the studios on Braddock Place, which, by the way, we'll be visiting here a little bit later in this tape.
And then we get other news out of Washington through Witt next door.
Joe Gregg, who's a broadcast engineer, is looking all this over. And we're looking his DXer shirt over.
And I mean, with the full program, you can't.
Transmission lines out to the dishes from the uplink transmitters.
Now the original antennas that we had installed here were that antenna and this antenna. Those were made by Radio Mechanical Systems in Kilgore, Texas.
The other antennas off in the distance were for a commercial concern not affiliated with PBS. Here's a look at some of the mechanism for tilting and turning the big dishes. That's Bill Nallman and his girlfriend Colleen. Another dish. Very impressive setup. Signals from the Braddock Place studios in Arlington are microwaved to the uplink center, picked up by those dishes.
Bill, are you thinking of grilling some hamburgers? You gonna grill some hamburgers?
Bill Eckberg, I think, is kind of camera shy, but the grill did look tempting. We were kind of hungry by now.
What? Hey, why don't you guys run through that commentary again? Hey, Bob, say that again.
Say what?
About the antenna.
Radio Shack.
Yeah, with all the other stuff they got here, they got a Radio Shack antenna?
Yeah, with all the other stuff, we got a Radio Shack antenna.
Bob Seybold, known as the King of DX. Bruce Hall from Brantford, Ontario, with a customized shirt. And now we're at the Braddock Place studio facilities for PBS production facility in Arlington, Virginia. Another very thorough tour here.
And we lost a $50 million estimated state-of-the-art, actually state-of-beyond-the-art facility.
All programs for PBS originate on tape at this center.
We are off the shelf.
Virtually everything on PBS is on tape, and they're all played back in this building. He's explaining the fire protection system here.
And auto, because we can do 3 separate feeds. Video that we can look at. That's what we're currently sending out from here at the moment. And another uplink site is sending out that. I think Columbia, South Carolina is uplink. And during the course of a weekday, we might have, how many switches, Alton?
35 a day.
Switching between different uplink sites around the country.
Well, now, this actual picture...
That's the master control setup. This is one of the tape playback bays. They run two tapes of program at once. They're gin-locked together. In case the primary machine malfunctions, they can simply punch up the second machine and not lose a frame.
Okay, that's an extra leftover closed caption piece of garbage. Something got switched in the
Going live nationwide on PBS.
And you won't have a backup. That we normally don't send out.
Well, live from tape anyway.
Ready to go.
And then 1 second after it hits. Now, what you're seeing is closed captions, or will be.
And we got a good explanation of closed captioning.
Do time zone delays. Eastern feed is generally the primary.
They had a lot of machines for the time delays for various zones. Picture here is of the computer program for one of the delay setups.
So what we do on the time zone delay, a return signal that we can switch to it. We have a group of, we have another waveform, vector scope, and stereo to check in shows and look at them ahead of time.
Very high quality control here. This is one of the production rooms. Very high tech, very state of the art.
Color bars are nice for setting up heads, checking differential phase, but the programs never match the level of color bars. So we have a...
Taking a look here at the audio patch field and distribution system. And then down a couple of rows to the video equipment. And there were a lot more racks that I did not roll any tape on. I think you get the picture. It's a very complex setup.
For the cluster,
in the programming area, the computers all have names. Bert, Ernie, Big Bird, Cookie Monster. And there are a couple of other famous names that cropped up in the computer area, too.
The controllers that control the disk drives, there are two controllers. One's McNeil. The other is Lair. So.
Now it's Sunday morning and group picture time. The gals are across the street taking pictures.
Is this going to be WSMV?
Somebody wondered if this is going to be on Channel 4 in Nashville. No, I don't think this will make it, fellas.
Don't just stand there, do something.
By this time, a few of the group had already gone. Things were winding down at this stage of the game. But there is more to come. Back in the convention room, Jim Rollins, who gave a talk on the history of Washington, D.C. area FM stations at the Tech Talk session on Saturday night, is DXing. And that's Peter George again. Door prizes. Bill Eckberg has just been told to go pick something out. There's Shirley Weimer again and Colleen. Bill checks out one hat. No, that's not it. This looks better. Loosen it up. Try it on. That's it. That's going back to Illinois. There's Paul Mount again.
Well, just leave it.
Camera shy.
I was just wondering if you knew.
Bill Norman with a camera.
Yes. Federal.
Robert Goodman checking somebody's DX tape. Jim Dietrich looks like he's sneaking in here or stealing something. I think he's just trying to dodge the crowd, though. Some of Bob Seybold's old DX pictures back in the 50s.
I failed this test.
Oh, we had a quiz.
You're not even going to try?
Oh, I'll go get a test too.
We all tried the quiz, and none of us did very well. There was controversy over some of the answers.
That particular frequency range is...
The VUD quiz was the most controversial.
Does anybody know
64?
71.
The question was, what year was WTFDA founded?
Y'all are all ignorant.
He got it.
When is it?
I got the right answer because I was one of the original founding members.
Okay, let's hear
What year was it?
1968. Oh, we got 4 of them.
That was a scrambled word test. That was one of the prizes, the coffee mug, and the VUD test, which none of us did too well on. Here's Bob Smolarek with the WAPP t-shirt. They're checking out the bumper stickers and stuff here. Shirley Weimer has made a face at me, and I'm following her with the camera.
I know. My dad in Center City.
George Green holding up a sticker from WTKK.
Guided tour on Sunday afternoon.
I will pick
Paul Mount
Montana.
and Marv again with an AM pattern book at a TV-FMDX convention. What's that doing there? Somebody checking out some tape from KOTA-TV in Rapid City, South Dakota. Say goodbye. This is Monday. It's videotape. Hey, let's have some action. Just about everybody's gone by now. Don't just stand there.
We're supposed to move. This is a moving picture.
That's right.
Hey, you want to get the back?
That's Bruce Hall. That's good. The upper portion of the back, and Greg Caniglio on the left. And as we wrap it up, Mike and Shirley Weimer's call letter license plates. And finally, Gus Mancuso's. And that'll do it for our convention coverage of WTFDA 1990.